Now let's take a look at making your own story map. I am planning a lesson for my 11 to 12-year-old pupils at the end of their block on Earth Forces. I want them to put their knowledge to the test in a San Francisco decision-making exercise, where they will design and locate a new hospital for the area of San Francisco. As you can see here, I have started my story map by adding in a title and adding in a little bit of information for pupils about what they will be expected to do. I started this story map by using the waffle on my GIS sign-in, going to Story Maps, and then selecting the button at the top that says New Story. Once I have selected this button, it provides me with an area for my title and my introduction, which I have already typed in. Now I need to give my pupils some information to help them to make this decision. Here is where story maps really come into their own, as practically anything can be embedded within them. Let's take a look at what we need to produce for my pupils first of all. I need to explain to them exactly what they need to do with each resource. I have already made a map with several layers on it. Here you can see the San Francisco Hospital decision-making map is accessible. I've included it as a map here. I can decide which layers pupils need to be able to see on this map. In this case, that's actually not all that helpful because I want pupils to be able to turn on and off each layer as they work through. So I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to instead create an app with this particular feature installed. I will go to the content of my own GIS account in My Content and I will find the same map that I have already shown you. Here, once I click on the hyperlink and I come to the home page for this resource, I can then choose what I want to do with it. I want to make this really easy to use for my pupils, so I'm going to wrap it up in a web app. Here, I will choose a configurable app, which is basically an app that has been built for me and will do exactly what I want. Here, the legend is really important for my pupils, so I'm going to search by legend. Choosing the interactive legend tile will allow me to produce a map where pupils can turn off and on each layer nice and easily. Let's use this one. I will call this app afterwards to remind myself that this is a slightly different version of the map. The map has already been selected, so I can click on this bit here and I can see all of the information that's available, or I could change the map if I wanted to. Here everything is as it should be, so I'm going to select Next. App title can be changed here. It will automatically default to the same title as the map itself. That's actually fine. An introduction panel is actually quite helpful though. It's a box that's in the way of the map that pupils have to read and select OK or a button before they can use the map. I use these frequently to help explain to pupils what they should do with the content underneath. Now I will publish this and use it in my story map to allow pupils to turn the layers on and off. Now let's preview to see what this will look like for students so far. You can preview this on whichever screen you think your pupils will likely be using. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. Now that pupils have located the perfect choice for their new hospital, they need to understand exactly how they are going to design their hospital. I'm going to add in a new section for this using the plus button here in the sidecar menu. I'm going to continue my story by asking pupils to now consider or watch the media that is on the right hand side about the best ways to design an earthquake-proof buildings. I can use the Add Media button and use the Add Embed to allow me to embed any videos here. Once they have completed this, I then want to instruct pupils to go on and actually create their own idea of what their hospital will look like. I can add an image or video quite easily. So I've saved it to my computer and I can upload it here. Finally, I want to add one last section where pupils can show me exactly where they want to place their building and can justify their choices to others. Let's add in a final section of this sidecar. It's on the left-hand side, and I am now going to add an embed. In this case, we will embed a Survey 123 I have built ahead of time where pupils can locate their hospital and include images and some other information about their design. In the Collaborate menu, I can now get the link to share my survey. Ahead of time, I have made sure that this is open to everyone, so no logins needed. I have made sure that pupils can add and update their records, and I've also ticked Enable Draft Mode, so that any information pupils have put into this form will not disappear if they come back to it later. I hit Save and it's ready to go. Let's copy the link over and add it into our StoryMap as an embed. Now the survey will appear in that space, ready for pupils to include their information. What would be really nice is if pupils could now actually see the information that others are putting into this form straight away. So let's add in one final one where we can put a link here for any results of that Survey 123 to pop up immediately. Again, I can add media and add an embed, and this time I'm going to go back to my Survey 123 and use the Share Results button. Again, I've made sure that everyone can view this and that actually the viewers can only view the data. They can't export it or do anything with it. Again, I hit Save and then I copied this URL. Let's pop that into the embed and it is ready to go. Now, as soon as anyone fills out this survey, information will pop up in this next section here to allow students to actually see the updated information straight away. Let's publish this as everyone to save pupils having to log in. Now we can see exactly what pupils will be able to view. This looks good so far, but actually it's a bit black and white and it's a bit boring to look at. So let's go back to the ellipsis menu and choose Edit Story to do something about the theme and make it look a little more eye-catching. Here I can use the Design option to choose exactly what I want my story map to look like. Here I can include the button Navigation, which will put some dots at the side of my map to allow pupils to see exactly how much they have got left, so this 01 to 05. I can then pick some different themes and see exactly what they will look like on the left hand side. In this menu here, Manage My Themes, you can actually create themes for yourself to use again and again by creating New Theme here. Again, I have done this ahead of time, so now I'm going to browse my own themes that I have saved and pick my Earth Forces one, which is black and red and really gives an idea of Earth forces, including earthquakes and volcanoes. Now that I'm happy with that design, I'm going to add a cover image so that it looks a little more eye-catching from the get-go. Again, I will upload a file that I have found previously. Now I can browse my files and find that particular image that I want to include. Now things are a little bit more eye-catching and looking better for our pupils. I can publish this and view it again to see exactly what it will look like now. Perfect, this is looking much better. Now I can use the share button to share this with anyone that I want to.